Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve G, and what we have this time is the Matsubara Awagami, our blue number 2 wavy face Gyuto 210mm knife. So this line of knives and this maker tends to make knives that are thick, stiff, heavy, tall. So generally big blades. This is a big hunk of steel here. It's a big 210 Gyuto. The construction is 3 layers. You've got Awagami blue paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel for the core steel in the middle, and then on either side you've got a soft stainless cladding, and that cladding does cover the top of the spine. So in terms of the reactivity part, it'll really be here where the core steel comes out of the cladding. So you still have to take care of it because it is reactive at that part, but it's not as bad as a full reactive knife with the cladding like soft iron. So obviously these have a lot of hand-hammered characteristics to them, so the weight and dimensions will vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 204 grams or 7.2 ounces, so it's got some heft to it. Heat treats typically around 62 Rockwell for that core steel. Handle is an oak handle, octagonal, kind of fairly boxy, that's got what's known as a burnt or urushi finish to it. They've done a good tight glue-up job here where it comes into the tang comes into the handle, so nicely sealed. It's just a good quality basic handle. Balance point with that handle is going to be right about there on this particular knife, which for me is pretty gone close to my pinch grip. I don't hardly have to move that at all, so that means it's going to be fairly neutral. Despite it having some heft, it's a balanced heft if you're pinching it for most people. Okay, rest of it, 215 millimeters on the edge length, about 8.5 inches, about 367 or 14.5-ish length on this particular one with the handle. Spine thickness, you generally have some thickness coming out of the handle, then they thin out a little bit, but they are kind of stiff, thick blades. I got about 3.6 or 3.7 coming out of the handle, and then about halfway down I got about 2.4, so this one thins out a bit. They're all going to be a little different. Not a lot of taper until you get to the grind. And they've got a pretty tall grind here, meaning how much distance there is from where it starts to where the edge, comes down to the edge. So that means you can do a nice job of kind of gradually thinning that out. They get pretty thin with the tip on this one. It's actually quite thin. So that means it's going to go through product quite well despite the heft of this blade. It's actually quite thin at the tip. And it's also thin at the edge. So you're going to have really good performance at the edge and the tip to go through stuff easily, but you're going to have some thickness to it. You're going to have some food separation to it, probably pretty good food release, lack of kind of suction to things on the knife, so with kind of this deep hammering that you have. So it should be a really nice combination for kind of a muscular but blade with some finesse to it. Height, 60 millimeters. These are tall blades. You've got a back sweep to the heel here, to the chin, or where it comes down off the handle. Generous curve there for your fingers. Loads and loads of clearance on the cutting board. Let's see. Let's get our beauty shot here. So these, they put the kanji, the hand-engraved kanji, on the left side of the blade. So if we look a little closer, you'll see there's hand-engraved kanji here. Hand-hammered marks. It's not machine-hammered, as they say on the page, I believe. So every knife's going to be a little unique. Here's your grind, here's your cladding, and there's your core steel right there. Here's the left side of the blade. Again, every knife's going to be unique. The finish is very good on these. They've done a nice job polishing the spine and rounding it. They've done a nice job and work on the choil here, polishing that a little bit and then rounding it. So very comfortable. All of these have had very nice edges on them. I'm going to give these a 7 to 8 on my out of the box scale, 7 or 8 out of 10. And they've got a lot of nice polish to the edge, nicely crafted edge. So these are totally ready to rock and roll right out of the box. Well, let's see what the cutting board profile looks like on this guy. Alrighty. So you'll see a fairly aggressive tip curve to it, or belly to it, and not a lot of flat spot. The 240 was kind of similar, where not a ton of flat spot. You got some at the back. Every knife's going to be slightly different, but in general you can kind of see the style here. I should be able to get pretty darn high on this before the tip wants to dig in, which I'm up there, so pretty reasonably high. So this will rock real nice. It does have a nice flow to the curve of the blade. You can tip draw with it, push-pull cuts, glide cuts, a little bit of chopping at the back. So if you're looking for something with a fairly easy maintenance with the stainless cladding, very hand-hammered, unique, not something a lot of people would see or have. These are cool to show off to your friends or family. Definitely kind of unique. If we want something kind of tall and stiff and a little bit of heft to it, this should be something you should be looking at. So this is the Matsubara Awagami, or blue number 2, wavy face Gyuto 210mm knife from Chef Knives To Go.